Let us talk about what happens after the alarm goes off and you don't reach for the phone. This is where things get interesting. This is where the real resistance starts. It's not the resistance of your body wanting more sleep. That's easy. You can power through that with willpower and a splash of cold water. No, the resistance I'm talking about is quieter, sneakier, and lives deep in your mind. Picture this. It's a Thursday morning in late July. You did it. You left your phone charging in the kitchen overnight. You wake up, and for a glorious 3 seconds, there's just quiet. The fan is whirring. A bird is chirping outside. Your brain is a blank, peaceful slate. And then it hits. It's not a thought. It's a full-body conviction. A voice that sounds a lot like your own says, with total authority, "This is a waste of time." You lie there. The silence starts to feel loud. It feels heavy. It feels guilty. This is the trap. And it's not a trap of laziness. Let's be very clear about that. You are not lazy. The person who gets up, grinds through 7 meetings, answers 100 emails, and still feels behind is not lazy. You are a worker, a striver, a performer. And that's exactly the problem. You've been infected by what I call the performer's mindset. It's the belief that your worth, your value in this world, is tied directly to your visible, measurable output. Every minute must be accounted for. Every action must have a result you can point to. An email sent, a task checked off, a reply given. In this mindset, a quiet morning feels like a crime. Sitting with your own thoughts feels like stealing time from your boss, your family, your future self. That peaceful blank slate, it feels like an empty Excel sheet, a sign of failure. I saw this play out with a friend of mine. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is a consultant here in Austin. She's brilliant. She wakes up at 5:30 a.m. every single day, without fail. She's the picture of discipline. But here's what she does. By 5:35 a.m., she's logged onto her laptop in her home office, the blue glow of her monitors the only light in the room. She's answering emails from East Coast clients, getting ahead of the day. By 9 a.m., she's a machine. She's processed 50 inbound messages. She's performed flawlessly. She's been reactive, responsive, and efficient. But when I asked her one simple question, she stared at me. The question was, what is the one most important thing you want to move forward on today for your own goals? Silence. Crickets. She had spent her entire morning's energy, her freshest, most potent cognitive resources, on other people's priorities. She had performed the part of on-top-of-it consultant perfectly, but she had zero direction, zero proactive momentum for her own key projects. She was a puppet, and the strings were being pulled by every ping in her inbox. Her value was in her reactions, not her creations. That's the performer's mindset, and it's exhausting. So when the alarm sounded from the other room, I had a choice. I could get up, walk to the kitchen, silence it, and inevitably get sucked into the screen. Or I could lie here, in the sudden quiet, and try something different. I decided to lie there. The silence was loud. My heart was beating in my ears. My brain was a chorus of complaints. This is stupid. You have a 9 a.m. presentation. You should be reviewing your notes. You're wasting time. Check the weather at least. What if there's an emergency? I ignored it. I focused on the ceiling fan above my bed. It was perfectly still. A thin layer of dust clung to the edges of its blades, visible in the gray-blue light seeping through the blinds. I could hear a mockingbird outside, going through its whole repertoire of chirps and whistles. This was the moment. The first crack. I remembered something I'd read called the 121 Austin Bridge. It sounded too simple to work. One deep breath. 20 seconds of a single quiet thought. One more breath. 22 seconds total. So I tried it. I took one slow breath in through my nose. I felt the air, cool and dry, fill my lungs. I held it for a second. I could feel the weight of my body on the mattress, the softness of the cotton sheets against my skin. I let the breath out through my mouth. A long, slow sigh. Then came the 20 seconds. The instruction was to name one intention for the day, just for me. Not a task, a quality. My mind was blank. All I could think was, don't mess up the presentation. That wasn't it. That was fear. Then a word floated up from nowhere. Steady. That was it. Just steady. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't plan how to be steady. I just held the word in my mind for what felt like a long time. I stared at the dust on the fan blades. Steady. I took one more deep breath and let it go. That was it. The whole thing. I didn't feel transformed. I didn't feel a wave of peace or clarity. In fact, I felt a bit ridiculous. My inner critic was having a field day. Wow, profound. Now can we please check our email like responsible adults? This is the internal battle. This is where 95% of people quit. They try something small like this, they don't feel an immediate rush of Zen mastery, and they dismiss it. They think, see, that doesn't work for me. I'm just not a morning person. But here's the microscopic victory that I almost missed. When I finally swung my legs out of bed and my feet touched the cool hardwood floor, I didn't immediately bolt for the kitchen. I sat there for another 3 seconds, just sitting, listening to the bird, seeing the pattern of light stripes from the blinds painting the floor. You thought a word. The day is saved. For those 3 seconds, I was not a performer. I was not behind. I was just a guy, sitting on the edge of his bed, awake. That was the win. It wasn't a feeling of calm. It was an action of pause. I had created a tiny, almost invisible buffer between waking up and reacting. A 22-second buffer. I walked to the kitchen. My phone was there, glowing. I saw 3 email notifications. The old me would have unlocked it right then, heart already starting to race. The new me. The me who had just spent 22 seconds on the word steady. Picked it up, swiped the notifications away without reading them, and opened my weather app. Just the weather. High of 94. Sunny. I put the phone down and made my coffee. The whole time, that small, quiet word echoed in the back of my mind. Steady. The 9 a.m. presentation came. It was fine. It wasn't the best presentation of my life, and it wasn't the worst. But I noticed something. When a tough question came from the client, I didn't feel the usual jolt of panic. I took a breath. I thought, steady. And I answered as best I could. It was a tiny thing. Nobody in that Zoom room noticed. But I noticed. That's the thing about this first break. The victory isn't what you feel. It's what you do. Or more importantly, what you don't do. You don't reach for the phone. You don't flood your mind with the world problems before you. We even said hello to the day. Let's get sensory about it. Think about those 22 seconds. What do you see? Not your phone screen. You see the texture of your own ceiling. The way the light falls differently in summer than in winter. You see the color of your walls in the early morning gloom. What do you hear? Not a podcast, not a news alert. You hear the house settling, the hum of the refrigerator from the kitchen, the specific morning sounds of your own street. Maybe a school bus, maybe a garbage truck, maybe nothing at all. What do you feel? The literal physical feeling of your body, the pillow under your head, the weight of the blanket, the temperature of the room on your arms. For 22 seconds, you are just a collection of senses, not a to-do list. A 2025 study in the Journal of Behavioral Neuroscience found something amazing. Just 22 seconds of focused breath control upon waking, can disrupt the amygdala's panic cycle. That's the part of your brain that screams, emergency, when you see a stressful email. You are literally creating a biochemical buffer zone against reactivity. You're not trying to be calm. You're just building a dam. I don't delete it today. Instead, I save it in a folder I've encrypted, labeled August Dump. It's gone from my active mind. The emotion tied to that Monday meeting, it's down on paper. It's lost its fangs. I feel lighter, clearer. And in that clarity, a solution pops into my head. A simple, calm way to frame the conversation. It came because I dumped the noise, not because I was trying to force an answer. That's the sequence. 1. Bridge. 2. Thermal shift. 3. Unsent letter. It takes less than 25 minutes total. But those 25 minutes are mine. They are designed, not rented. Now let's be brutally honest. It doesn't always go like this. Oh, there was a Wednesday last week when it was pouring rain, thunder cracking, the sky dark as twilight. My brain said, "See, you can't do the thermal shift. The system is broken. Might as well check email." That's the resistance talking. It looks for any excuse. So I adapted. I did my bridge. Then I opened my kitchen window wide. I stood there for 6 minutes, feeling the cool, wet spray on my arms, smelling the incredible petrichor, that earthy scent of rain on hot concrete. I listened to the rhythmic drumming on the roof. It was a different sensory experience, but it was still a shift. I still stepped out of my controlled environment. The sequence, not the perfection. Another morning, my neighbor's dog started barking relentlessly at 6:50 a.m. It was infuriating. My unsent letter that day was a very, very passionate note to my neighbor about canine etiquette. I deleted it with gusto. The point isn't to have a spiritually perfect experience. The point is to do the process. No matter what the world throws at you, this is the daily war. You fight it by sticking to the sequence. You will have mornings where you feel nothing. No peace, no clarity, just boredom and an itch to get to real work. Do it anyway. You are building a neural pathway, not a feeling. You are training your brain that the first part of the day belongs to you. I started tracking this, not in a fancy app, just a simple X on a wall calendar in my kitchen. Day 1, a messy, restless X. Day 3, the X felt a little easier. Day 10, I realized I was looking forward to the thermal shift. Day 21, I caught myself on a Saturday morning, automatically doing the bridge before I even remembered it was a weekend. The habit had sunk in. The fog was lifting consistently by 7:15 a.m. But here's a secret. This war is almost impossible to win alone. The performer's mindset is a loud, cultural voice. You need a whisper of counterculture. I have a private signal chat with 2 friends, one in Chicago, one in Portland. We don't talk about our feelings. We don't coach each other. We have one rule. When you finish your sequence, you send a single emoji. A thumbs up, a sun, a coffee cup. That's it. Seeing those 2 other emoji pop up on my phone after. My routine, usually around 7:30 a.m., is a powerful thing. It's a silent, I'm in the arena too. It's accountability without performance. We're not showing off our perfect sunrise meditation. We're just quietly reporting for duty. It makes all the difference. A fact to hold on to. Research from the 2025 Circadian Science Institute showed that light and temperature exposure before digital screen exposure can increase your afternoon focus duration by up to 200%. You are literally building a dam of focus for the later part of your day, when most people's energy and willpower are leaking away. So you do this day after day. You fight the daily war with your 3 simple hacks. You win most mornings, you lose some, but you keep showing up. And something starts to happen. It's not a sudden explosion of productivity. It's quieter. You notice you're ending your Zoom meetings 5 minutes early, giving everyone a gift of time back. You hear what your partner is actually saying over dinner instead of just planning your reply. You have a spare moment of patience for a coworker's mistake. You become a source of calm in the chaos, not another source of noise. You've won the morning. But this new clarity, this new sense of being at the helm of your own mind, it starts to change things. It starts to ask new questions of you. And that's where the real story begins. It's Labor Day, September 1st, 2025, the official end of the summer here in Austin. The heat is still a physical presence, a thick blanket over the city, but there's a subtle shift, a certain golden slant to the late afternoon light that promises cooler evenings ahead. I'm not telling you about the weather just to set the scene. I'm telling you because I noticed it. I was sitting on my patio this morning, doing my 6-minute thermal shift, and I actually saw it. The light catching the dew on a spider web, making it look like a necklace of tiny diamonds. A week ago, my mind would have been a million miles away, already in a future meeting, and I would have missed it entirely. That's the new normal. It's not a dramatic, earth-shattering change. It's a collection of 100 tiny shifts, so small you almost don't notice them until you look back. Let's talk results, the real kind, not just, "I feel better." That's important, but it's vague. Let's talk numbers and tangible things. From that first, shaky 121 bridge in mid-June to this morning, I've done my 3-part morning sequence 73 times. Not every single day perfectly, but most of them. In that time, I've clawed back approximately 26.5 hours of my own attention. Hours that used to be spent in a reactive fog, scrolling in bed or doom-checking email at the kitchen counter. 26 hours. That's more than a full day. I didn't find more time. I reclaimed what was already mine.